Welcome back to another episode of Cupcakes and Cashflow, the podcast where we mix real life business chats with a sprinkle of fun, a swirl of honesty, and a big helping of support for women doing business their own way. I'm Shelley, and today I'm honestly buzzing because we're chatting to someone whose work has resonated with so many women, especially those of us who are juggling life, work, energy, and expectations. Yes, I can't wait to introduce this lady. We're joined by the amazing Emmaline McAndrew. Welcome to Cupcakes and Cashflow.
Oh, thanks, Shelley. Thanks for the amazing introduction. I will take all of that.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm just going to sort of like, for anybody who's not met you, for anyone meeting for the first time, who is Emmaline McAndrew? You know, a brief introduction of who you are and what the Slow Businesswoman is all about and what we're going to talk about.
Okay. So as you said, I'm Emma McAndrew. I'm 50. I've got 3 children, the oldest of which is 31 and the youngest is 15. I know. So I've got all different age ranges at home at the minute. So yeah, it can be quite tricky. I've got 2 Havanese dogs as well. And if you didn't notice by my glasses that I'm wearing, and if you look at my Instagram, I'm always wearing a different pair of glasses. I really love cool glasses as well. And I do like butter Mentos too. So if you do,
so next time I see you, not to name drop a particular brand of sweeties, I have to get you some sweeties.
Yeah, any. I'm also a chartered marketer, and I'm also on the board of trustees for a Liverpool-based domestic violence and stalking charity, which is a big part of my life too. In terms of the Slow Businesswoman, and I'm sure we'll get into it, Shelley, but it's all about helping women to build and run a slower business for women who have limited energy.
Yeah. You've had such a rich career working with some huge household names and brands. What was the moment you realised you wanted or needed to slow down or sort of like gentler, more human way of doing business?
Yeah, so with big brands comes big budgets, obviously, but it also comes with some pretty insane deadlines as well, with a lot to do, very, very busy, zapping quite a lot of your energy just with work, finding that you don't really have much time for your home life as well. So I've worked in some really good places, but I've also unfortunately worked in some toxic places as well. And everything was about hustling, moving faster, increasing sales targets and working a lot of overtime for free, which I think is a situation that a lot of us end up in, particularly if we're working in marketing. And it's not how it should be. And eventually I just burnt out completely because that sort of work-life balance where you are working that overtime almost every day and there's so many big expectations on you, it's not really sustainable for a person who has chronic illnesses and fatigue like I do, but I actually don't think it's sustainable for anybody.
Is that when you sort of realised that it just wasn't working for you anymore and you had to change things?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I was at one of the toxic workplaces, I was sat at my desk and I actually was wondering, what is this weird pain in my neck? And I always describe it as, if a crisp has gone down the wrong way or you've eaten a hot chip or something. But I was actually sitting at my desk with 3 trapped nerves. And the reason I knew that is there was a chiropractor next door and I went round and said, what is this pain? And she said, you've actually got 3 trapped nerves in your neck. You should be at home. But I wasn't at home. That lovely workplace decided to give me a sling made out of a tea towel. And that's how I worked the rest of that. Yeah. I mean, so giving, but yeah.
So giving.
The point is that I think here is that I was still expected to work. And it was at that point, really, I thought, this seems crazy. This doesn't seem right. I felt a little bit gaslighted into still working under those sorts of conditions. And I did in the end move to another employer who was a lot better, which had a great work culture.
Yeah.
But my trap nerves really were just sorry, Shelley. There was just a foreshadowing, really, of a bigger health crisis.
Yeah, do you think it's that experience that shaped the business and the life you've created since?
Yes, exactly, for sure. So, as I already mentioned, the work culture we have today is just not sustainable for a lot of us, and I think it's common knowledge that I disagree with it for everyone, not just for people like myself who have chronic fatigue. So, I did continue in marketing, and I got into a pretty good rhythm. But then later, I had a few more diagnoses added on to the health conditions I was already suffering from, and it just added to, things were piling up and piling up on terms in terms of my health. I was also unmasking from being diagnosed with ADHD as well, and I just needed to find a way to refine how I was
Do
working.
you think,
um,
as women, we're eager to please in these marketplaces that we work in?
Yeah, for sure. In fact, I found that the hardest part of reshaping my work and starting as slow businesswoman is actually other women. Sorry, not other women, other people. So you've still got people today, and I'm sure you've seen them on LinkedIn as well, where they're pushing that hustle message, like I'm working on a weekend, or you've got to get out there to and get the network constantly to be able to get a job. And then those types of people don't really understand my message, which is
Mm.
of slow business. They think it means that you're not going to deliver work on time, or that you don't like deadlines, but really slow business just means you're doing the same things but at a sustainable pace.
Yeah, I imagine the actual slowing down must have been quite tricky, because you'd worked in fast-paced environments and stuff like that. What was the hardest bit of the transition of going from sort of like Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, or even 9 to 10 p.m.? We just working 24 hours a day sometimes. Well, not 24 hours a day, but
It feels
hypothetically,
like it, doesn't it? It
it really
absolutely
does
feels
feel
like
like
it.
it. What was the hardest bit for you, do you
I
think?
think
You sort of like, oh gosh, I've got to slow down.
well, yeah, there was that, but the hardest thing probably is that view from other people, thinking that
Mm.
what I'm doing here is something that's less than what they're doing, and it's absolutely not. And then the second part of it was courage, professional courage, to actually go against what everybody else seems to be doing, this other thing. But I can see that everyone's burning out, so I think it was having the courage as well to say, hey, I'm going to do something different. Obviously, there were thoughts around finances as well, yeah. So I think it was probably having the courage to go against this massive tidal wave of this narrative that we're being sold, that you have to be here, there, and everywhere in order to make money.
What does the slow business woman actually do on a day-to-day business? What does it actually entail? For women with sort of limited energy. Let's
Yeah.
let's dig into the slow business women.
Yeah. So for me, slow business means planning a work day that's bespoke to you. Okay. So that you can manage your energy and still do a job, or still run your own business, or make money, really. So it's managing that, and creating something that works for you. So for me, I start work in bed at 7 a.m. 3 days a week, which is what I currently work, and I finish at 2 p.m.
I think that's
Because
one
that's
thing I've learned off you, Emmys, because I start at 7 a.m. sometimes, because
yay.
that's when I've got my most energy, and that's something I will say up front
Exactly.
to you and say thank you for that, Em.
Oh, amazing. Well, that's what I learned. I was sitting in bed. I usually wake up about 6:15. And I was just scrolling on my phone, and I thought, do you know what? I feel totally awake. Maybe this is when I should be doing the actual work instead of just scrolling. So I switched everything around and left my scrolling to the end of the day. And had that work block throughout a time when I knew was my best energy time. And then I have rest built into the rest of my day as well. So it's all about managing your work ahead of time, leaving in those rest breaks that I know you and I have talked about before, Shelley, just to make sure that you can deal with anything else that might
Yeah,
crop up, like
yeah,
family or
yeah.
pets, or
It's
yeah,
like I discussed something with them today, which I know is gonna, but it's something massive, and it's something that is gonna sort of pursue on our time over Christmas, and it's something we can't really sort of slow down. But I guess we have to, but we've
yeah.
got to crack on with it because of what it is.
Yeah, we do. And I sent out, I do a weekly email to all my subscribers called the Weekly Pause. And in there today, I talked about Christmas specifically, because everything seems to ramp up. And we do sit there thinking, well, I can't drop this, I can't drop that. But actually, you
We
can. You
can.
can drop some things, or you can delegate, which is the best thing that as a woman that we can do, is give it to somebody else. No, they're not going to do it the way you do it. And it's probably not going to be right. But at the end of the day, it means you can have a nice Christmas day, or even a nice Christmas week.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's going to be hard to hand it over and stuff, but it's
Yeah.
sort of like you've just said. It's like, is it going to be right? Is it not going to be right? But that's what we do as women, isn't it?
Yeah, and the sense of relief actually when you do delegate these tasks, particularly at home, and you think, actually, that was worth it. It was
Yeah,
worth
yeah.
it. Okay, they didn't do it the right way, but it got done, and I'm okay. And now I can perhaps watch my TV show or take a call from my friend that I perhaps wouldn't have had the energy to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Who do you feel most called to support through your work? Sort of like what women are you looking for? Does it particular type, or do we have to have specific criteria or?
So basically, I want to help women like me. Okay. So women who need to manage their energy, and that could be for all sorts of reasons. Okay. It could be health, as we've already discussed. It might be lifestyle. There might be a single parent. I mean, most of us have been with children, have been that way at some time or another, or they've got a disability or like I say, a health condition. So I want to help any woman who's just got that finite energy limit every day. On top of that, in time, I know that a lot of us who do have disabilities and these chronic health conditions, we tend to have less disposable income as well because we're spending it on our disabilities, on everything that we need and the support in order for us to stay at work or just to keep going. So I do offer scholarships as well, and in time, I'll
Oh,
be offering mentoring as well to people
that's
who need.
amazing, Em.
Yeah, women who need the slow business the most, which is women who perhaps don't have spare funds or even the support from anybody else. So yeah.
Yeah, and you said something I absolutely love, Em, that success doesn't have to mean sacrifice. What does success look like for you now in the slower mode? Can you sort of like? I know you're excited about launching the Slow Businesswoman as well, aren't you? That's a huge success.
Yeah, and that's probably going to be my big one for this year. But success for me can look like different things. And I think it can look like different things for other people. Okay.
Mm,
So it could be extra time when your kids come home from school. It could be taking the day to visit a child that's at university or a friend going out for coffee or something like that. It also means I've got the best work health balance for me. That opens up a lot of opportunities, obviously, to rest and recover as well. So success is not always I made six figures. In fact, I'm trying to tune people out to that message, particularly on social media. And I wrote about that recently too, saying that success could be lots of different things. And for me, it's having energy left at the end of the day to do the things that I want and not just
yeah,
working and
yeah.
going to
Do you
bed.
think there's myths holding? Because you've mentioned LinkedIn and trying to sort of educate people about six figures and stuff. Do you think
Yeah.
there's some big myths about business that hold women back, especially those women with chronic illness, disability, or neurodivergent? Do you
Yeah.
think those myths are there?
Definitely. I mean, the six-figure thing is people think that that's, that I think that's been there for at least the last 25 years, people wanting to make this 100K or over 100K. And that's not what success is, as we've already said. But also, for me, the biggest myth is that you have to accept the status quo when it comes to work. You've got to fit into those boxes of what people say work should be. Look, we all
Yes.
need money. We've all got to pay the bills, but you can still work and have professional boundaries or adaptations throughout your day. So, yeah, perhaps it's less about myths and more about rejecting this unsustainable way of working that most businesses follow and most people follow in their career. And we just think, well, that's the way it is.
Mm.
That's perhaps the biggest myth and the biggest lie that we're told, I think, as women, is that you need to be able to do this, 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 and this. And look at all these women doing it. And there aren't many of us doing it at all. And if we
Yeah.
are, we're actually burning out and we're hiding it.
If you're building a business, replying to emails, thinking about dinner, and still feeling behind, you're not doing it wrong. You're just running a business like it's an emergency. The Slow Businesswoman is for women who want success without the stress. A calmer way to grow, a smarter way to work. The Slow Businesswoman. Work smarter, stand out, succeed. Find out more at theslowbusinesswoman.com.
We've just been joking there and stuff and like, but about burnout and things like that. And your new framework, the slow business method, sounds like a real game changer. Can you give us a little insight into what it is? How's it going to help women? How,
Yeah, so
apart, sort of like, yes.
So the full details haven't been released yet. There's a few teasers out there at the minute, but I can tell you that it's an 8-week course that I've designed for women like me. So as I say, limited women with energy limiting conditions or lifestyles. I talked about parents earlier on, for example. So it's not going to be an intense business course, okay, like some can be. There's going to be an hourly live teaching session and also a weekly live Q&A with me to
Ooh,
ask
lovely.
questions, to get advice perhaps on your business idea. And I might also be releasing a WhatsApp group. So that's definitely a sneak peek, because I haven't mentioned that anywhere yet. But we'll see that in the next couple of weeks. But essentially, what the Slow Business Method is going to do is show women how to set up and run your own business, whether that's being self-employed, a freelancer, but it's specifically for women with limited energy. And it is a safe space for women as well. I am trauma informed, and it's only women that I will be accepting onto the course, just to make it, that it is that safe space for us, and that you'll be with other women who have similar conditions, and all of us on the course will have an energy limiting condition.
I mean, this is a bit of a big up for Em here. I've actually been on some courses sort of with the Em, and we've been on Zoom calls and stuff, and I can actually say Em is very good at the way she handles these courses and things like that. So that's a big shout out to Em, and she's so easy to follow as well.
Thank you. I mean, I've been training for quite a while. I usually train in social media strategy and content strategy. So I've been doing that for about 15 years. So, that's such lovely feedback.
That's very, because I won't say the name of the other group, but me and Emma are in another group. And she recently had a session that we host in the evening. And it's honestly a big shout out to Em, because she's given me so much confidence and courage as well to sort of go on with this mad idea that I have. And obviously we can't say too much on our side, but it is going to be leading to something quite big in 2026.
Wow. Yeah, and I'm really excited for you guys.
Because Em does know.
Yeah, I know, but don't worry, I won't tell anybody. In fact,
we won't go into that. But
use that as a testimonial, Shelley. I've just written that.
She's just writing a testimonial down and stuff like that. You've got a wait list open for the Slow Business Women as well, and you've got some lovely launch prizes. What can people expect?
So, if you come onto the wait list, it means that you'll be the first to hear about the course. You'll also get early bird pricing as well, because you'll get the lowest price. I do want to just make a point that it is affordably priced, and there will be payment options as well. So I know a lot of people tend to charge anywhere up to like £2,000 to £5,000. It's nowhere near that. Absolutely nowhere near that, because obviously I'm doing it for people like me. So one woman will win a full scholarship to the course and a one-to-one strategy call with me to go over their business idea or any other worries that they have as well. And that'll just be an informal chat, so people don't need to worry about having to have their business plan or anything. It's not going to be like that. And also, as the wait list grows, and it has, like, I've seen a 50% increase in the wait list even in the last 2 weeks, so I'm really, really excited. I'll be adding some more prizes, like a visible health band, so that's the tracking band that helps you to pace your energy throughout the day with a year's subscription, and there's an Amazon voucher, and maybe a few other things as well.
Oh, amazing. And I mean, this all sounds brilliant. I know you want to turn this, your movement, your Slow Business Women movement, into a book. How's that going, and what inspired you to do a book as well? Was it just your experiences?
Yeah, I think in terms of inspiration, I think we all want to write a book. I think there's a book within all of us. Yeah, everybody just, I mean, most people will say, "Oh, I don't," but they do. And I've been a writer for some time as well, so it's a natural thing for me to do. But people like to learn differently. Okay, so some people want to come on the online course, which is the Slow Business Method, but then other women are going to want to read a book. Okay, or perhaps listen to it on Audible, which is what I do because of my disabilities. So I wanted something that I can give to women who come on the course as well, or at other events like those events we attend, Shelley, to be able to give it out as well, and give it, like I say, as part of that scholarship to women who need it. So I believe we secretly all want to write a book, but also I think that it's just a difference in the way people learn.
Yeah, because I mean, I've started designing my cover. I've got my cover, and I've got my outside cover, and I've got the first two sort of like pages of my book, and I've sort of put it down again at the moment. But I know it's something that's burning away in me. I know it's burning sort of deep down and stuff and that. And if a lot of our sort of listeners and viewers have limited energy in this, I'm thinking, how can I start a business? How can I stop this feeling overwhelming? What's one simple starting point they could try? What's Em's one top tip?
Yeah, so I think when you say that, Shelley, it's that feeling, isn't it? And particularly around this time of year as well. We're into December. People get, they're tired. They're a
You're
little bit stuck.
exhausted,
Yeah, they're thinking, I want to get, I need to change my job. That all these things are happening. It doesn't seem to be working for me. So my biggest, perhaps it's not a tip. It's more of like, we've got you. So I've got you here, okay? So women like us really understand what it's like to live the everyday when you've got limited
yes.
energy, don't we? So if you do join, you will be joining a community of women who get it. So if you can't make it to one of the sessions, nobody's going to be chasing you and asking why. If you have questions, no question's going to be a silly question. It's that feeling of everybody here on this, within this community understands what it's like, and they understand why they're doing it. They understand the problems, perhaps some of the starting blocks that you might need to come off. So yeah, you'd be joining a group of women who really get it. And also, this might be the tip maybe that you were after. It's time to invest in yourself and pave that way to a more sustainable work life. I think as women, we tend not to invest in ourselves. I don't know about you, Shelley, but I spend a lot of my money on the children or on the house or on this, and it's
Or the
very rare
pets.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
I
The
could definitely
dogs
say
are.
the pets, Em.
My gosh, don't get me started on those. But yeah, you're earning that money. You deserve to invest in yourself, particularly if it's going to help your work health balance.
Yeah, because I think people are worried about financial shifts and things like that. They're worried about they're not going to make any money, or some of
Yeah.
the women could even be worried about becoming like the cost of the course. But you have mentioned that there is payment options and stuff. Because I imagine for you, when you slow down, there was that financial shift, wasn't there?
Mm.
And was it going around your head like, I'm not going to make enough money? How am I going to make money?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. When I've run several businesses and then been employed sort of like in blocks around my life. So I've done both. But this time round, because I wanted to make sure that it was a much slower business, I just started to track my money more. So I created an amazing spreadsheet, which I share on the course as well,
So that's
to
how
allow
you
you to.
manage your cash flow, Em.
Exactly. And I am typically the sort of person who doesn't know how much things cost. I just put my card in at the till and that's it. But I had to change that mentality because I was thinking, yeah, there might be a drop in income, or what if, as you've just said. So I created this amazing spreadsheet where I can actually work everything out, and I can project how much I might need to earn, or if we're going on holiday, does that mean that I can't work that week, or maybe the week before and after as well. So it's about tracking money and also changing your mindset as well. But also, when you make any sort of shift in work, you just need to make sure that you're planning for it. I mean, on top of that, you can do things like raising your prices. I think as women as well, we tend not to charge what our worth is. We're
Yes.
always saying, oh, I'll do your discount, or oh, I can do it 50% off just to try and get a client on board. So I also teach that
I think
mindset
we're all
too.
guilty of that, Em.
Yeah, but we absolutely don't have to. And I think if you're building a slower business, you need to make sure that you do get paid well for it as well, so that you can do less. But yeah, you need to, have a little bit of a shift in mindset as well. But I also started to work backwards from how much I needed to earn. And then I started to build in how to get there. And once again, that's a spreadsheet that we do
Yeah,
share
yeah,
on the
because you
course.
must have boundaries or habits that have become absolute lifesavers to you in your business.
Yeah.
Oh, and your
I mean,
health.
Yeah, I mean, not checking or answering work emails or texts out of hours. There you go. So that's the biggest boundary and habit change. So if I finish work at 2, I've made sure that my clients or anyone else that I'm working with, colleagues, they know that's when I finish, and I do not look at my email. It's not that I don't answer it, I just don't look at it. So there's things you can do with your phone and your laptop
Mm.
or your desktop where you can stop those notifications coming in at specific times of day. And that, there you go. There's a good tip. There's a free tip. So yeah, that and setting my own work hours are probably the 2 biggest professional boundaries that I live by now. I did write a blog recently on professional boundaries as well. So if you head to my website, you can have a look at that. Obviously, all the blogs and articles on there are free, so you can have a look into lots of different things. But yeah, stop checking emails and texts and WhatsApps outside of work time.
Yes, and I think we're all guilty of it, sort of, especially in the industry I work in. I mean,
Yeah.
some people are still at their emails at 10:30, half
Yeah, it's
11,
crazy.
at half
That
12.
used to be me, and never again, Shelley, never again.
Yeah, I think it's, you see, for me, having worked in media, it's sort of trying to sell everybody else. Don't text us at 10:30 at night. Don't text
Yeah.
us at 11:30 at night, because we're not going to answer you, even though
Yeah.
I have been guilty of sending emails at 10:30, 11:30 to get that
Yeah.
business.
I mean, I've worked at crazy times on weekends and all because I thought that will help me to get the next promotion, or then I can ask for a pay rise. And none of it, the promotion or the pay rise, none of it was worth it because it will catch up with you. If you don't have a health condition now,
Or
you
why we
could
need
be
the
at
slow
risk.
businesswoman in our lives.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, I can't be everywhere all the time. But
I'm
if
going to
you do
split you
watch
up,
this
Evan,
podcast
put you
back,
everywhere and stuff. And what's next for you? Big dreams. What do you feel happy to share? What else do you want to achieve for 2026? Well,
so
let's
I want
get
to
to
finish.
the end of 2025 sorted with the
Yeah,
Slow Businesswoman launch.
yeah.
But 2026,
So I really want to finish my book. So I know you talked about you've started yours, and we start it, and then it's like we really need some block time to be able to write a book. So I have planned in lots of weeks that I'm taking off where I'm actually just going to work on the book. Okay, and then secondly, it's just meeting women like me who really get it, what
yeah,
it's like to have a health issue, but we're still ambitious.
very.
And that's you as well, Shelley. Like you are not just sitting back and saying, "Oh, my life is over. I have these."
Absolutely not going to happen
Conditions.
then.
I know, because we're ambitious, and we still want to achieve things. I mean, you won an award earlier this year. I've been entered and become a
Won
finalist
an
in
award
awards
as
as well.
well.
Shush. But it's that ambition, isn't it? And I love to meet other women who are ambitious but do not want the hustle side of it. And I know there's women out there doing that, and I wish them all the luck. I honestly do. I'm a big supporter of women supporting women, but I'd just really love to meet more women like me. I think when we do get together and we do share our stories, it really helps us to get things in perspective. So, for example, I was talking to somebody on Instagram the other night, and it was really nice to hear how my content had been helping her. Obviously, you've said it's helped you as well, Shelley. So I really love to get that feedback as well, because then it tells me that it's not just me, and then it tells those women that it's not just them, and so on until we can keep spreading this message about not breaking ourselves, just to make money.
Because I think when you work at home as well, you feel so isolated. Sort of sometimes you're thinking, well, is this just me? Am I the only
Yeah.
person going through this? But then with, like, when you read your content, you realise, no, I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's loads of other women as well on Instagram, and on Facebook too, and a couple on TikTok as well, who are really good to follow as well, because they get it as well and they're spreading that same message. I think we're all sort of having a bit of a wake up call, and now we've been connected more than ever before. You can actually see those stories and it's not just you. And hopefully that group of us that are saying it's not just me, we need to change things, will grow.
Hence why I
And
wanted
until
to
it does,
start Cupcakes.
yeah, exactly.
To get the message out there, because obviously this sort of all started when I met Em back in September, and we were at another award. We were actually at the award ceremony, weren't we? But we sort of
Yeah.
touched base and we said, we'll try and catch up on the day and stuff. But just listening to all those women's stories on that day, some of them
Yeah.
were just amazing, weren't they?
Yeah, it's so inspiring. And the fact that we're all quite open with each other as well about our struggles, whether that's a health struggle, psychological struggles, mental health struggles as well. There's when you get women together like that, I think that's where we become our authentic selves, and we're happy to share things because we see other people doing it, right? Like you wouldn't just walk up to a woman in the street and start talking to her. So to have these different outlets is amazing. And you mentioned before as well about being isolated at home. I mean, you and I both attend an online meetup, an accessible online meetup every month, which we are going to throw open to the general public from January. So perhaps you could share that
Which
on your
we can
channels
put
as
that all
well.
over our blogs and all over our social and our
Yeah,
website
just
as
to
well.
let
We can
people
share that.
know, and then they can obviously we chat a lot on there. We have a little bit of training on there as well. So I think we're going to see more communities like that popping going up. They've definitely ramped up, as I say, even in the last couple of years, and it's definitely needed. There are a lot of us at home. I spend the majority of my time at home as well because I do have limits on my energy. So it's really nice to catch up. Even recording a podcast like this it's part of my social life.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing how society has changed. We do have this technology, right? The most important question of this podcast. So, tell me, if you're a cupcake, what would you be and why?
Ooh. Okay. So cupcake. And you're lucky I love cupcakes. Okay. So I'd have to say a vanilla confetti cake on the inside because
Ooh,
sometimes things can look plain on the outside, but they have a big pop of colour when you open them up. And then it would have to be royal icing on
definitely.
top. Yeah. So I need to have the royal icing on top. I'm not into buttercream. I can't tolerate it. So a nice big blob of royal icing. And on top of the icing, it will probably have in big letters. We don't all have the same 24 hours because we don't, particularly when we do have health conditions, etc. So yeah, if I was a cupcake, that's what I'd be. And obviously it would be pink because
Yeah, I can definitely agree with the proper colour because that's one thing Em is known for. If you do start to follow Em on Instagram, she has these amazing outfits. And I am going to end this and
oh
sort of say, when I first met Em, I said to her, I absolutely love your outfit. And what did you say to me? The pajamas.
yeah. Yeah, and I've since bought another pair. So what Shelley's talking about here is my Dams and Madder pajamas. So they weren't just ordinary like pajamas that I
Crinoline or
dragged out
whatever
the
they
drawer.
call it, or something. Is it
I bought
crinoline?
them I bought them from Vinted with the intention of wearing them as an outfit. And I've just bought some more from another company as well, like just similar ones. Yeah, I've
I
just
think we
always
need to
liked
be
bright
sponsored by a
clothing.
pajama company.
Yeah, and it's the comfiest you'll be at an awards ceremony. I mean, I would love to wear like a sparkly, tight-fitting dress with some heels, but I've never been able to wear heels. They always hurt.
No.
I am much better in my flats, pajamas, looking smart, they've been ironed and everything. I don't really wear makeup, and then just do my hair nice, and that's it. And that's how I turn up. And it's really changed the excitement I feel at going to things like that, going to these social occasions, knowing I'm not got something digging in me. I haven't got a
There's
bra that
nothing
I'm
worse,
itching
is
to
there? Is
take
there?
off. Yeah, it just ruins the day, doesn't it? So I'm glad that you liked that, and I hope that other women, will feel like if that's what they want to do it.
Yeah,
I'm not dissing anybody who wants to wear a dress because some of the women had amazing dresses that day, didn't they? And they
absolutely,
looked
didn't they?
awesome. Yeah, and I told all of them, love your outfit, but at the same time, if you're like me and you really do need comfort, you can still make a bit of an impact,
I mean,
but
so
still be
much
comfy.
so, Emma's actually inspired me to look into something else for 2026, which I can't say about yet.
Oh no,
But
I was just about to say, tell me.
something to do with pajamas. Let's just say pajamas. It's something on the horizon
Okay.
that I'm looking into in 2026 as well,
Oh,
because I was so inspired by this lady. I was like, do you know what? And it's all to do with comfortability, isn't it? If that's
yeah.
even a word,
It is
comfortability.
now.
Yeah,
It
it
is
is
now.
now. About making people feel comfortable, so in
Mm.
knowing that they don't have to go in sparkly dresses. Because I know some of the girls have got trainers on, haven't they? They've got
Yeah,
lovely
exactly.
sparkly dresses
I had
with
trainers
trainers
on as
on.
well. Yeah, and I wear trainers with dresses as well.
I
I've done
love trainers
some.
with dresses.
I do. I've been doing it for about 15 years. All the time I've been training for big corporates as well. And, that perhaps their dress code says that women can't wear trainers, but I used to go in them anyway. I mean,
And guess what?
who's
We're
going to
we're
stop me?
we're we're coming for you. We're going to wear our trainers. We're going to wear our pajamas. We're going to
Yeah,
do whatever we want.
yeah. The next thing is dressing gown as well.
Dressing gowns as well.
We need to, yeah, we
We'll
need
have
to
to,
make some nice dressing gowns.
we'll have to think about that one. Tell me where people can find you.
So you can find me on my website, which is theslowbusinesswoman.com. You can find the waitlist on there, all the information about the slow business method. You can also find me on Instagram usually, and that is at the slow businesswoman, all one word, or you can follow through Shelley's Instagram. We talk a lot on there. So if you can't find me, you can always ask Shelley or even Charlotte. So yeah, would love to connect with everybody. Even, just slide into my DMs, say hi. I'm very friendly. but I probably won't answer after work hours.
Yeah, I was going to say, stick to your guns there, Em. You won't be answering
Yeah.
after 2 p.m. in the
Yeah.
afternoon. And if she does, please tell me.
No, don't.
Thank you so much for joining us. Your honesty, your wisdom, and your whole approach to business, it's just gorgeous. And thank you to our listeners. If today's episode resonated, make sure you follow the Slow Businesswoman and join the wait list, because trust me, it will be worth the wait. We'll be back in the new year with more cupcakes, more cash flows, and more brilliant women in business. See you then.